So I went to Rutgers University and my degree is in computer science. Absolutely, for sure. I do think my background, numbers, charts, tech, it simultaneously kind of goes side by side. So yes, absolutely. I do think having a degree in computer science helps. So before Modern Black Girl, I was working in hospitality and I did do websites, front end, back end stuff. So I did use my degree freelancing, but I also did work in hospitality. So I did a lot of events, I did management. So, you know, it's one of those things where, and then also before I even invested that initial 10,000, so I'm already doing a lot of different things. I feel like I've always been a serial entrepreneur of some sorts. So this is just something that I fell in love with fully, that all my other like side projects just kind of went away and just focused on this. It didn't initially start with 10,000. It really started with 5,000. And then from that 5,000, grew it to like 17,000, back to 8, and then back to 15. So it really just went up and down. And then from there, you know, I got back down to roughly about like 3 to 4K. And then I said, okay, I have some savings. I also have Tesla. So I had Tesla shares at that time as well. So I took some of my Tesla shares that I have and said, okay, I'm gonna have a little bit more fun. I'm gonna be a little bit more strategic. Take a little bit more risk with what I deem like a savings, because that's what my Tesla shares were. And you know, have some fun with it and learn how to invest with this money. So then I restarted again, and now I had $10,000. So it was a bit of an up and down journey. It wasn't like all at once. It's like, okay, here's 5, and I was like, okay, I need more. Because essentially, the more money you have, of course, the easier the process is. That is just the reality of anything that you're doing in life. So I got the rest of the money, and that's started again. Within the Black community, we hear millions, so we think a million is a lot. But a million comes with new tax brackets. There's new things that come. So when you got a million, you really don't got a million. You really got 600,000. And when you have 2 million, you really don't got 2 million. You got 1.2 million. You know? So these are the things that people don't, you know, more money, more problems. So yeah, you know, it's still a great thing to accomplish, but there's so much more work to do, you know, especially on Wall Street. Yeah, of course. A Modern Black Girl is an education platform. We do show women how to invest long-term, short-term. We educate them on the market. And what we do really good is we call it like sister talk, right? Like girlfriend talk, where we really simplify the market and the language of finance for the average everyday woman to understand it, because I think people think finance is so difficult when in hindsight it's just a language with everything, right? I feel like, you know, in any community there's a language, right? China, language, you know, certain parts of Africa, there's multiple different languages there. Finance has a language, and once you're able to understand it, you'll see it's so easy. It's not that difficult. If there's one investing tip, this may sound really generic, but like, don't look at this as like a get rich quick scheme, because once you come in here with that mindset, you're doomed already from the beginning. You can have $1 million, you can have $1. If you're coming here thinking this is gonna be something that, you know, you're just gonna get rich quick, you're doomed already before you even start. So I think that's the biggest thing. It's like coming into the market with a realistic goal. And yes, there's amazing things that happens in the market all the time where you can make extraordinary amounts of money. That is something that can happen. However, you know, investing is about being able to buy your freedom. That's what I like to call it. And that takes time. You have to learn the ropes of the market, and you have to give yourself the time to learn that. And you know, sometimes there's a lot of semantics on the internet, right? You got people in cryptocurrency, oh, I turned this to this, or I did this to that, when in hindsight, it's like, you know, the best investor is the one that can invest every single day and be consistent every single day, if that's the life they choose, or someone that says, hey, every 2 months I can invest, every 3 months, and they can be successful. So understanding that this is a journey, it's not a sprint, you know, it's not something that just gonna get rich quick, you gotta put in some work, but it's the best skill you can have as a woman, a man, doesn't matter, like it's the best skill that can change your life forever. So it's really important. That's a good question. So believe it or not, there's no like notable people, believe it or not, that I feel like I'm like, oh my gosh, this person changed my life when it comes to finance. It's average everyday people that you may not think that would have millions of dollars in investments. Those were the people that really changed my life. You know, a guy named Bon Davis, someone I look up to, you know, he's a GM at Dream and he does a lot of amazing stuff over at Dream, where he's an everyday cat. Don't tell him I said that, you know. Bon Davis, he's great. But, you know, he's an everyday guy and he really helped me learn the ropes of investing. I mean, he made me purchase Tesla. So, you know, everyday people are around us that have investment. It's not always the notable people. It's not always the Elons or the Chamaths or the Kathy Woods. There might be the person sitting right next to you that may have millions of dollars in investments that you may not know. So, yeah. I mean, we're killing it. The numbers numbers are showing since 2020, entrepreneurship for Black women has rose 17%. So we are stepping into roles, we're finding our whys, we are doing the work to become amazing women as Black women. So I do think a lot of times there's so much on the internet that people think that, okay, Black women are caught up in, you know, maybe social media, but in hindsight, there's so much Black CEOs out here, there's so much Black entrepreneurs out here killing it. The average income of a modern Black girl right now is over $80,000. So imagine you have over 250,000 women, the average income. So, you know, people are out here doing a lot of amazing things, especially Black women. So, you know, I love where we are. I love how we're blossoming and growing, and we're doing all forms of work to just become better individuals. So I love our trajectory and what we're doing as Black women. Killing it, doing it. I talk about this all the time, which is kind of funny that I'm in Access now, because I feel like as individuals, period, we have to learn ourselves outside of money, period. Like I say this all the time, that the biggest mistake you can do is put your self-worth on to money and a price tag. So I think once we can lose the ego when it comes to money, I think we can be better off, period. I think right now what's happening is Black women are stepping into positions where in hindsight we are making more money than men. And a lot of men have been taught the way you're successful, you know, your biggest goal in life is to have a lot of money, when in hindsight it's like, no, there's so much more to it. Because you can have a goal, but when you reach it, then what, right? I always say when I got my first $1 million, I was very depressed because that was always the goal. The goal was $1 million, right? Get the Jeep, because I always loved Jeeps. I bought my Jeep, so excited. Get the penthouse in Brooklyn that I drove by every single day on the bus, right? Like, get the penthouse looking over the whole city. I did that. Then what, right? So a lot of times we put goals thinking that we're not going to reach it, and then we reach it, and then it's like, Same thing with relationships, and I feel like we just have to dig within and like really see why what do you like in a partner, and lead with that when it comes to relationships. Because I think right now it's just a lot of ego talk, but I also feel like there's also a lot of black love too. Like there's so much out here nowadays, and it's actually beautiful to watch. So I think just people have to remember, money is just a tool. That's all it is. Especially in the Black community. We have to rewrite everything. Like a lot of us as millennials, we have to rewrite almost everything that we've been taught or what we thought was a goal our whole lives. So to be very honest, I think I have the most organic brand ever because I didn't want to start Modern Black Girl. That was never my intention. I was investing for myself back in November 2020. I already made 6 figures in the market. I was doing well. I had a plan. I already had a forecast to make X amount of money for the next year. I was great, but you know, one thing that's always been important to me as an only child is sisterhood. So brands, I've always wanted to do other things when it comes to bringing women together. I just never thought it would be money or finance. So Clubhouse started, and I would talk about stocks and finance in a room with a whole bunch of white men. And they're like, Black men too. And they're like, who is this girl? Why does she know so much about the market? And why do I understand what she's saying? And from there, it just really took off, where women were like, yeah, you need to teach us. And I'm like, okay, you know, and then from there, I met other amazing women in finance, and they're like, let's come together and start this brand. So at this point, it was the perfect time. It was like God's timing. I wasn't doing anything. I just had, at that point in November, December-ish, I already made over $250,000 to $400,000 in the market, more than I've ever made before, you know. So it was just like, okay, I'm great. I have plans to make more. And then we started Modern Black Girl. So it was just an organic brand. I never thought I'd be doing this, but I'm so happy that I'm doing this because it feels at home. Yes, so you should have more investments than savings, period. Savings is the worst things to happen to the Black community. Don't be fearful of money and spending money and taking risks with money would be number 2. There's scarier things out here. Have you ever been in a relationship before with someone that you really like? I promise you, that's more scarier than investing, and you probably will spend a lot more money in that situation than you do taking an investment risk. And 3, in this market right now, this is the best time to get educated. You know, whenever you guys are watching this, it could be, you know, right now, you know, in this market with crypto being down, in our current state, with our economy, with the stock market being down, this is the perfect time to learn, because in the next 3 to 5 years, everyone that decided to invest right now, they're going to be millionaires, hands down. It's the best time, when markets are low, this is the best time to get in and really start to, you know, make a lot of changes for yourself. So start planning, get into the market, find what works for you, find companies that you like and you enjoy. So those would be my 3 tips. Still battling. Let's just say that. I think the battle of the mind, that takes time, and I'm still dealing with it. But I would say, with me, peace of mind is really important. So like, it's so funny, like meditation and these things. Growing up as a Caribbean American, that just wasn't something that was, you know, I was taught at all. But that helps me a lot. Quiet time, quieting my mind is so important to me, and I'm doing what I love. So like, you know, finding time, even if it makes me no money, no one understands, you know, in the midst of everything I need to do, carving out time to do what I love. So that is what helps. But as I mentioned before, every day is a battle, still dealing. Yes, so you can find Modern Black Girl online. We do classes, social media, we do a lot of fun, quick investing videos. So you can catch us there.